Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Unreliable Studio Podcast number 3. Today, we're going to talk about the big Sony announcement that's going to happen on the 20th. So, we're just going to talk about rumors, speculation, kind of see where this thing's going to go. My name's Josh.
And I'm Pedro.
All right, Pedro, so you've been out of the loop for the past couple weeks. Just recently, Sony's been releasing these retrospective videos for their old consoles. A couple days ago, the PlayStation 1 video came out, and then I think yesterday the PS2 video came out, and tomorrow the PS3 video is coming out. Basically, it's just telling everybody about where the PlayStation brand has come from and what we saw and expected out of those consoles in the past 20 years.
I mean, is that the point of these videos? It's just like for Sony to say, hey, we're badass and we're going to beat our chests.
Basically, I mean, I've only seen the PlayStation 1 video, and it was basically just talking about how much better they did than their competitors at the time, which, I mean, granted, PlayStation 1 back then was a huge deal, so...
That is true. And the PS2 was even... I would argue was a bigger deal.
Yeah, I mean the PS2 was leaps and bounds beyond what we had seen before, and I mean with the competition that they had back then, I mean it was bar none the best console out. But now we have the PS3, and it's seen some rough patches for sure, but I mean it's definitely still a great console.
Yeah, it's still great. I mean, and the NPD or whoever's numbers show that lifetime units they've actually outsold the Xbox 360, which is kind of crazy to think here in the US. But I mean, when you add in Europe and Japan, they go crazy for them PS3s.
Yeah, Sony's a huge brand in Japan, and I don't know how Microsoft's ever going to get a hold on to that, but that's another story for another day.
Yeah, definitely.
So as far as this announcement that's going to happen on the 20th, what do you think, or what do you see coming out of this?
Honestly, I don't see what the big deal is. They announced that they're making an announcement on the 20th. They didn't say what it was or what it's going to be, so for all we know, this could be
PlayStation Move 2.0.
Exactly, yeah. And wouldn't that be great? This could be Sony's answer to Microsoft's Kinect.
Yeah, and I don't see that happening just because they're releasing these retrospective videos now, but I mean, you never know. They could just come out of nowhere and just be like, I mean, a PS Vita that has HDMI out and be like, deal with it.
I would be quite upset.
I'd be happy for the HDMI out, but I'd be upset that there's no PlayStation 4.
I'd be upset that my Vita doesn't have HDMI out.
Already?
Yeah, it's like, oh, thanks for buying a crazy expensive handheld unit. Here's another one that's even better 1 year after the system came out.
Yeah.
So, thanks for slapping me in the face. And then everybody else would be like, there's not a PlayStation 4?
Yeah, and I just can't see them not announcing it now with this amount of hype and the amount of resources that is going into this project as far as the announcement goes. I can't imagine them not doing something huge.
I mean, there's no reason for them not to announce it. They want to beat Microsoft.
I would love to see Microsoft announce on the 19th that there's an Xbox 3.
Wouldn't that be like just a mind explosion of the day, of the year, even?
It'd be so funny.
That would kill Sony's thunder. That would destroy their thunder. I mean, not in Japan and Europe it wouldn't, but here in the States, man, I'd be all up for that.
I don't think that's going to happen, but...
No, that's definitely not going to happen. I mean, I don't work for Microsoft. Anything is possible.
Yeah.
Alright, enough BS. What do we think? Enough BS with some more BS. What do we think is actually going to get announced? What do we want? What do you want?
I would like to see a PlayStation 4, just because I just like new hardware. It's exciting. Anything new and different is cool. But I just don't know what I expect out of it. Because honestly, games still look great and they keep getting better. I mean, games like Dead Space 3, which came out a couple weeks ago, I mean, it looks amazing. And I mean, in this part of the generation before this, I mean, the PS2 games definitely started showing some wear. And
Did they though?
I mean, yeah,
God of War 2 came out after the PS3 came out, and that game looked
it
insanely good.
it looked very good for a PlayStation 2 game, but you could still see the little jaggy lines. You could still see pixels. I mean, we're getting to the point now where, I mean, we have 1,000 pixels on the screen at once. I mean, thousands of them, and it's just you can't see stuff like that now. So I don't know how to get better. I guess just adding more enemies to the screen at once, or changing some lighting effects, particle effects, stuff like that. But as far as the core graphics of it, I don't see it getting much better anytime soon, really.
I think the graphics could always get better.
Yeah, I know they can, but I don't know. I don't know what they'll do next.
I mean,
If they could make gameplay look like cutscenes, then that would be awesome.
well, yeah. I mean, I would say that there's definitely that blur now in this current gen where it's like, whoa, when this cutscene become actual gameplay, and whoa, I mean, Lost Odyssey for the Xbox 360, that game would blur cutscene and gameplay in such a way that was amazing. And yeah, for this next generation, I could totally see them saying, the hell with cutscenes. Everything is in real time, because we don't need to pre-render anything. We have the horsepower to, and we have the technology to just make everything look this damn good.
Yeah. And I mean, Uncharted does that really well too.
Definitely, yeah. Uncharted's a great example of that. But yeah, I'm also excited to see some destructible environments. I mean, Battlefield 3 has been outshining every other game with buildings that will literally crumble to the ground, and walls that you could just blow out with the tank. I want to see that in like every single game I play.
Yeah, and I remember when they announced the Star Wars Force Unleashed, seeing that destructible environment was insane.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, we have improved graphics, we have more destructibility. I can only hope that the AI in these games would be that much better, because I have seen some questionable AIs in some of the games in the past.
I mean, I think the big thing is just making these systems easier to code for and develop for, just so there's not as much, I mean, shovelware and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see that. I would also want to see the smaller teams able to make bigger titles. Xbox Live, with their Xbox Live Arcade, they made indie games and smaller. They added that second market. It didn't have to be $50 to $60 games anymore. Now you could buy $5, $10, $15, $20 games and have an experience that was just as, or if not more enjoyable than some of these other games. So I could see them raising that even more, you know, instead of $20 games, have $30, $40 games that are equally as enjoyable as the $60 games. Or maybe they can have new pricing models. Maybe they can have that free-to-play model and have that as a new way to pay for these games and play these games.
Yeah. I mean, that's something that they're kind of already doing with DCUO. It's exclusive on the PS3, and you can get it on the PC. And, I mean, you can play that game for free as much as you want. But if you want extra expansions and stuff, then you can buy additional stuff for your character or whatever. But I don't know how profitable that is for them. I mean, it's an interesting concept to have a free-to-play game on a console, It's not just limited to the PC world anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can have something like Team Fortress 2, a game like that where it's free to play it, but then you're spending money on the hats that don't do anything. I mean, granted, I'm sure they do something.
No, they don't.
Okay. Well,
I mean, and Sony's definitely come a long way in their downloadable stuff. I mean, like games like Journey and Flower from that game company. Those games are amazing, and I love to see that kind of innovation in consoles and games in general. And I mean, we've seen some crazy stuff with purely downloadable games with like Limbo, The Walking Dead, Bastion. I mean, there's a ton of downloadable games that honestly I think are better than a lot of full retail games that come out.
I completely agree. I almost wish there was more marketing put onto those games because those games are vastly superior experiences compared to 60% of the disc-based games that come out every year.
Yeah, and I think if Sony can expand on their online presence, that's going to be something that'll help them out a lot. I mean, they're doing that now with the ability to access the PlayStation Network on the website instead of just your PS3. And I definitely like that a little. It's a little easier to navigate. It's a little easier to do at the computer than sitting at the system to do it. And I like the cross functionality between the PS3 and the Vita. It makes it easier. I don't have to buy a game on multiple consoles. If I want it on the handheld and on home, like I just buy one copy and that's it.
Yeah, I'd say Sony has definitely been spearheading that cross-platform purchasing model. I mean that's awesome. Buy it on one system, get it on both. I want to see that kind of innovation, that kind of that expanded market happen on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, I they've got so much room to work with as far as the online community goes that I think they can, if they can find something that will really work for them and something new and different that will get everybody excited, I think they could probably pull it off if they're the first ones that do it.
Definitely. So what's something else you wanted to see in the system?
See, I don't really know. I mean, graphics is one thing, but I mean, we've come so far in the online space that it's kind of hard to ask for more as far as what's available on the console itself. And we've already got.
Is it hard?
I don't know. I don't know what else to do. I mean, we've already got like streaming services for music and videos, stuff like that.
And that's fine. I mean, I would say that the consoles have huge grounds to cover compared to the PC online services. I mean, wouldn't it be cool if the PlayStation 4 had, again, another business opportunity? They could have modding tools. I mean, on the PC, games like Quake and Skyrim, Just Cause, all these PC games have modding communities where people can buy different mods. They can download these mods for free, all from their PC, and it brings new life to these games.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's one thing that I guess I didn't really think about, and I mean, it definitely would be interesting. And I mean, another thing, I guess, like an internal capture for video would be kind of cool.
Yeah. And
if it just captured what you're doing, and then it just saves your hard drive, and you can export that to a flash drive or connect your PC to the console. Something like that would be pretty neat.
There are rumors that say that the next PlayStation will have the ability to record your gameplay and instantly share it online. Supposedly the next system is going to have like a little share button on the controller where you can, if you got a sweet kill, you can instantly push that button and post it on Facebook and God knows what. So I think that's something that they are at least looking at. And
That'd be cool.
yeah, that definitely would be pretty awesome.
And I'd love to have a way to, like, if you click that record button, it'll record like 10 seconds prior.
Yeah.
You know, like it'll just always be recording, but it'll delete itself every 10 seconds. That way, if you do something really cool and you hit that share or that record button really quick, it'll just record what just happened as well as what you're doing now.
Yeah, that would definitely
Because, I mean,
be...
that way you'd never have to worry about missing something.
Because, I mean, there are times where you're like, ah, man, did that just happen?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you need that buffer time to be like, yeah, let me hit that button. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. It would need to record 10 seconds prior, at least. Did you see any of the rumors about the new controller?
Yeah, I saw it looks like a DualShock.
Which is
But
good.
it's got a small screen on the front of it, but I'm not really sure what that's gonna be.
Yeah, it could be a touchscreen, could be like an LED, could just be a shiny piece of plastic.
Yeah.
But that should be interesting. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily want to be playing Angry Bird on my PlayStation 4, but hey, I mean, if they can come up with some new way of utilizing touch on the controller so that I don't have to whip out my Move controller and play with that, I'm all for
Or
it.
something like Smart Glass,
Yeah.
where it'll show you game-specific things on that tiny screen.
I can definitely jump on board with that. I am grateful that on Kotaku has a post of what's rumored to be a picture of the next controller, and it has a tiny little jack for what appears to be headsets.
Yeah.
Thank God.
No kidding. I've never had to use a USB headset on the PS3, but I can't imagine the terribleness that is.
Yeah, and those Bluetooth headsets are no better. I mean, I hate using Bluetooth headsets for my phone, much less chatting with them on my PlayStation.
Yeah, I think any device like that needs to have the standard headset port just to make things easier. I'm guessing that's why, I mean, I know I've never used any of PlayStation's voice stuff, so...
I've attempted, but have been pretty disappointed. I mean, the whole fact that the PS3, some games you don't even have that option to have voice chat.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've come a long way, especially with when the Vita came out. They definitely worked a way to get you to talk like on your Vita to somebody that's on the PS3. So that's kind of neat. You can actually join parties and stuff now. So
Yeah,
it's better than it was when it started for sure.
definitely. And I would hope that they'd be able to, increase these standard set of features that the PlayStation 4 would come with. The voice chat. So yeah, I would hope that they would have the increased set of standard features for the PlayStation 4, like the voice chat, the I don't know, better integration of trophies, a better integration of a friends list, a better method of updating the system and installing your games, updating the games.
I mean, they do a good job with the updates now. Is you can set your PS3 to do that, like in the middle of the night. It'll just turn on and download your updates.
Only if you have PlayStation Plus, though.
That's true.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
I mean,
with the PS3, the friends and just the social aspect of the system feels like an add-on. Like it's all the way over to the right. You don't really look at it much.
Yeah.
It's just hanging out over there. It's not really integrated into the system. It's just like it feels like an afterthought.
Yeah, and I have that problem with my Vita. I mean, in order to look at my friends list, I have to open a separate application. It should be built into the unit. It's a gaming device. This should be just standard.
You could do some sort of like little ticker at the top that just scrolls through who's online or something.
Exactly, yeah.
And then, I mean, then you could go to your friends list after that.
And then I can
because you already
tap on a friend and write up a quick message.
Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. It's only a day away, so hopefully it's a huge announcement, something we can really get behind and get excited about.
So what do you want to see in this announcement? I mean, we talked about the system, but like, obviously they should show the system, and I would imagine they would show actual games. Because when Nintendo revealed the Wii U way back in 2011, they were like, this is our new system, it's the Wii U, and here's a bunch of tech demos. Oh,
Yeah.
you see this new Zelda game? It looks amazing.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. As far as games that I would like to see, I want to see some new IPs for sure. Because, I mean, of course, you're going to get your standard Madden and Call of Duty, stuff like that. But I'd like to see somebody take a chance with something brand new. Because the PS3 had some great stuff like Heavy Rain and Uncharted. I mean, those are some of the best games on the system, in my opinion. And it's just something new and different. So maybe we'll finally get The Last Guardian.
Yeah, seriously.
I don't know though. I mean, that could be another couple of years away. So as far as the games go, I mean, any sort of new IPs that anybody's working on, honestly, would be good to see.
I'd agree. I mean, I'd want to see Star Wars 1313,
Yeah.
the Ubisoft game, which escapes me.
Watch Dogs.
Watch Dogs, thank you. And then all their first party games that they're going to be coming out with. Just some new stuff, just like you were saying, some new games. Because in the end, that's what we're going to be using this device for, is to play games. If it doesn't have the games, it could have all the horsepower in the world, it could have ultra high definition screens and 4D and move controllers built into the DualShock. But if it doesn't have the game, I'm not going to be buying it.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah, it'd be nice to play some PS3 games too. Or, you know, it's rumored that it's going to have the ability to stream PS3 games.
The problem with that is we run into the same problem with the Vita. When that came out was, I have all these PSP games, but I can't play them. And they said, well, you can rebuy them on the PlayStation Store
And
for the same price you paid for them when they came out brand new.
Yeah, 'cause that's exactly what you want to do.
Yeah, you just pay for the game twice to play it on two systems.
I mean, I could see them doing something where if you own the game, it's still going to play Blu-ray. So if you own the game, just pop it in the machine, and instead of playing the disc,
It just streams it.
it just streams the disc. Yeah, it streams the game. Because, I mean, I could see them not putting a cell processor in it just to avoid that colossal mind fuck.
Yeah.
And not have crazy expenses. But that would be one way to do it. Pop in the game. You want to play God of War 3? Sweet. Just pop it in, and we'll stream it directly into your system.
Yeah, and the only problem with that is like a lot of internet connections just not good enough yet.
Yeah.
I mean, if they had an option for some sort of install that will let you run from the hard drive, or a download feature, something like that. I mean, this new system's got to have a huge hard drive, because I mean the PS3 is up to 500 gigs. I can't imagine they wouldn't do a terabyte.
Yeah. No. Yeah. At least 500. Yeah. Or a terabyte, definitely. Because that's a good point. But I mean, another point is that it's rumored that the next Xbox is going to be always online. So what's to stop Sony from doing something like that?
Nothing really.
Yeah, in order to play the system, you have to be online. I think that's crazy.
I agree.
But if they think they can stop piracy, and if they think they can sell half the amount they sold this last generation, but, you know, have 100% insurance that none of the games were stolen and none of the games were ripped or whatever, I'm sure they'll do it.
Yeah, I the way I see it, man, honestly, people that do that kind of stuff, doesn't matter how hard it is, somebody's going to figure it out eventually. So
Yeah, I completely agree.
and it still sucks, and it's still something that I really wish wouldn't happen. But I mean, somebody's going to figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, really, when they do stuff like that, those DRMs and this, that, and the other, they're really only hurting the people that actually buy the games. But I guess they like covering their butts.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
Yeah. So that was our brief, quote unquote, brief PlayStation 4 podcast. Obviously, we'll get the announcement in less than 48 hours, and real soon. So hopefully you listen to this before you listen to that, or it'd be interesting to watch the announcement and then come back and listen to this podcast and see what was accurate and what was wrong. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we were just completely incorrect on everything, and none of our hopes and dreams were actually saw fruition. Yeah.
PS Vita with 3 analog sticks.
That would be amazing. No, it wouldn't. But yeah, so this was another Unreliable Studio. I'm Pedro.
And I'm Josh. Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll see you later.
Take it easy.